somewhat true, right? So, but what I'm going to tell you is an absolute fact. So it was 1903, this little boy named Jimmy's born into this world. It's the turn of the century, and he lives the American dream. By 1927, he meets a beautiful young woman. They get married. They start having kids. Might have been actually 1922, because by 1929, right prior to the crash of the stock market, the Great Depression, he gets into boxing a few years earlier and becomes an overnight sensation. He's Muhammad Ali, Sugar Ray Leonard, Conor McGregor, whoever. He's Tiger Woods, Michael Jordan. He's just a phenom. Michael Phelps. He is made to box, and he's beating everybody up. He's winning. And long story short, he gets into this fight. He gets higher and higher and higher. Now he's got a beautiful home. He's got a fur coat. Remember the fur coats of the Roaring 20s? He's got rings. He's rolling. He's in it for fortune and fame. He's getting selfies taken all over the hallway like here, right? So it's awesome. And he gets in a fight with this guy. Bigger, stronger, faster, and basically almost died in the fight. It's a documented fact. He actually broke his right hand. He fought so valiantly, he broke his right hand fighting. And they sent him to the hospital, and he basically almost died in the hospital. It scared the New York Boxing Commission. They revoked his boxing license, like somehow it was his fault, and he no longer could earn a living. Anybody want to lose their real estate license? Right? No! Those of you lenders out there? And so he could not provide for his family. So he did what anybody would do. He started working on the docks with a broken right hand and a cast. And the Great Depression hit. The stock market crashed. People are poor. He's desperate. Long story short, he's only getting picked. Like this many people on the docks, they'd pick you. They made a movie about this. Some of you know the movie I'm referring to. And every once in a while he gets picked. But bottom line is he's not making enough money. It's like being in real estate and not getting enough escrows for your family. Anybody relate to this? Not that you're here. Not that it would be any of you. Because I've been to these events where I slept in my car. I didn't come in and sleep at the hotel. Now, this was a long time ago, but some of you, I went down, you slept in your car last night. Michael Reese, I was at the Ritz-Carlton, Dorado Beach. $3,000 a night for a room there. It's not cheap. And we're in the Infinity Edge pool, Tranquility pool. It's 105. He and I are talking, and we were talking about when I first met him 18 years ago, and he slept in the desert at the JW Marriott. He pulled his roller bag out into the desert, leaned it against a cactus tree, and spent the night in the desert with scorpions. Until this security team at the JW Marriott Desert Ridge in Scottsdale watched him go out into the desert because they thought it was curious with the roller bag. And they went and got him and said, you can't do that. You will die. There's predators. They hunt at night, all the snakes and the scorpions. So they actually gave him a complimentary room. They felt bad for Michael Reese. Michael makes $400,000 a month now. Is that pretty good? But so if you're struggling, you came to the right place. So let's talk about little Jimmy Brabenek, who is struggling to provide for his wife and kids. And the story goes on, it got so bad by 1931, he lost the power to his apartment in New York City, and they cut off the heat. The milk van quit delivering the milk. He literally, one morning he gets up to go to work at 5 a.m. to try to go to the docks just to try to get picked. And he has one little piece of ham, I'll never forget it. And his wife's like, here, I cooked it up for you, Jimmy, you're gonna work all day, 18 hours on the docks, eat this little piece of ham. And he's cut it, he's gonna put his mouth, and his 3-year-old little daughter wakes up, and she goes, oh, that smells good. And he looks at his daughter. And he cut off a little piece and he feeds it to her like a little baby bird. And his wife, which I think was Renee Zellweger, am I saying her name right? She just got tears in her eyes. She's like, you can't do it. You can't feed your daughter. You need that to go work to earn money for the rest of us. Like, you can't take what little you have left. And he looked at her like, really? I'm feeding my daughter. And so he feeds her. He went out there with nothing. Worked all day. Bottom line is he didn't make it. One day he comes home, the kids are gone. They all had pneumonia. They couldn't feed their kids. They couldn't keep them warm. And they're literally dying. It's the Great Depression. And he comes home, the kids are gone. And it freaked him out. His wife said, Jimmy, we got to talk. And he's like, where are the kids? Where are the kids? And he was freaked out. She's like, it's okay. They're next door. You and I need to talk. I've arranged for your Uncle John and Aunt Maud to take Jimmy, your brother and his sister out in Akron, Ohio. They're going to take Tommy, and your mom and dad. They're going to take, he's like, what are you talking about? He goes, Jimmy, our kids are done. We can't make it. And something snapped in him at that moment. And I hope something could snap in you at this moment, where you realize that it's not okay the way you've been playing your life. It's not okay. And you playing life small is not serving the world. You with me? Like Mother Teresa, she's small, but she rides a train to the end of the tracks in India, a place called Calcutta. Pretty extreme. And she starts scooping people up off the ground and helping them die with dignity or nursing them back to health. And of course, she's knighted by the Queen of England. And I'm telling you, you can be the next Martin Luther King. You can be the next Mother Teresa. You can be the next incredible human being if you will just step up and say, I'm ready for the task. Every meeting you go to, get on the edge of your seat. Milk every little bit out of it. So he gets so desperate that day, he realized how bad his situation is. Write this down if you're taking notes. Write down this word. Struggle. I get it that you're struggling. We all struggle. Some of you right now are wondering if your marriage is going to make it. Man, I was there 10 years ago, 12 years ago. 2010 was not a fun year for Kathy and Brent. And we've been married 30 years now. My wife's doing way better. I'm so emotional here. But you gotta get emotional. This is your life, not my life. I'm up here for you. And so, guess what? He found his old boxing promoter. And he grabs him and goes, I need to fight. He goes, get away from me, you loser. Because he failed him. And he picks up his old boxing promoter. His feet are dangling off the ground this high. Puts him up on the wall. He goes, I want a fight. Any fight. You owe me that. You made so much money off of me. And he's like, fine, fine. He gets scared. And he goes, I'll give you a fight. One fight, $50. He goes, $50? He goes, yeah, is that enough? He goes, for $50, I'd fight my grandma right now. Like when you have nothing, anybody been there?
Yeah.
My pastor gave me a check for $100 when I got into real estate 27 years ago from my church. Like I was the one the church gave the money to. I bawled like a baby in the parking lot. I drove home. I gave Kathy to buy groceries for my kids because they were eating at the neighbor's house 27 years ago. So I hope something snaps inside of you, man. I hope you quit thinking about what other people are thinking about. It doesn't matter. If you have love in your heart, you're building the love boat, and your intentions are right, it's okay. And so you're gonna struggle. We all struggle. So he gets that fight, and he's in there, he's so excited, he's getting beat up, hasn't had any training, no training. Hasn't fought in years, and just whips the guy like nothing. And his old boxing promoter's like, whoa. Wow. He goes, you want another fight? Jimmy goes, yeah, I'll take another fight. He goes, he gave me $100 this time. He goes, $100? Heck yeah. Gets another fight, whips that guy. Another one, whips him, beats guys, like no training, beats everybody. And what had happened was his right hand broke in the prior fight that he almost died. So he worked on the dock with one hand tied behind his back. He hit his broken hand, and his left hand, he never had a good left hand, got strong. So right now, the struggles you're going through, the soft underbelly of your weakness, if you allow God to make it, will make it your strength. He ended up getting a left hand. He combined it with the right hand, and now he was a completely different boxer. So he gets back in the ring with the guy who almost killed him. Guy's 6'6", shoulders this far apart, bigger, stronger. And the guy's like, what a joke, I'm gonna whip this guy again like I did last time. And so he gets back in the ring with that guy. By the, can I borrow your chair? Can I bring it up here? Give this man a hand. Thank you, I'll return it. What's your name? Tyler, thank you, Tyler. By the third round, that big strapping boxer is in his corner, leaning back like this, exhausted, beat up. The big guy who almost killed him, he's like this, and his trainer yells at him. He's behind him. He's like, what's the matter with you? Come on, you whipped this guy last time. You whipped him, what's the matter with you? And then this guy, the bigger, stronger guy, he sits back, I'll never forget it, takes his mouth guard out, puts it on the side, he goes, he ain't the same guy. So today, you have a decision to make. Oh yeah, you can have this back. Just put it back there, sorry dude. Sit there. So you have a decision to make. Are you gonna be the same guy this year as you were last year? Are you gonna be the same gal? Are you gonna be freaking Helen Keller? Are you gonna be, Eleanor Roosevelt? Are you gonna be Martin Luther, Abraham Lincoln, George Washington? I can't really make, yes you can. The enemy is the inner me. You have what you tolerate in your life. You gotta step up, you gotta dream big, you gotta put in the work. You gotta get ugly before you get pretty. Write this down. Progress before perfection. So you're like, well, what's the script? It's not the script. It's not what you say. It's how you say what you say. How many agree with that? You ever get a telemarketer, they're reading the script? How do we respond to that? You're not getting your listings? Buyers aren't connecting with you because you're talking from here. You got to come from here. So guess what? Jimmy Brabenik beats everybody. He's an undefeated streak. It's like hard times and he becomes the hero of the working man, like this Cinderella story. By the way, that's the name of the movie, Cinderella Man. Go watch it tonight on Netflix. I always say don't watch movies, watch that movie. And so he gets back he gets all the way to the heavyweight contender, Max Baer. True story, 1933, I don't know what it was. Heavyweight, this is Muhammad Ali, this is Mike Tyson of the day. Max Baer had killed 2 men in the ring. Punched so hard, 2 guys died fighting Max Baer. True story. Sad, tragic. His wife, James Bradman's wife, was freaked. Like, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. Because of their close call. He's like, I gotta do it. I gotta do it. He gets in the ring. About the 5th round, he's getting beat up bad, but he's still standing. And he realized, like Nate Diaz fighting Conor McGregor in the UFC, Conor can't hurt me. And so guess what? He realized Max Baer couldn't hurt him. And Max Baer, for the first time in his life, got scared. Because Russell Crowe, who plays James Brabenik, blood's on his face. And he just wipes it off, looks at him. He's like, time to go to work. And I'm telling you right now, time to go to work. By the way, I do need to do that occasionally. I get excited and I start slobbering, so it's actually really good. And then the juices start flowing. That's why they cleared this area. It's like the splash zone at Disneyland. Now the part that you need to know is before he fought Max Baer, the heavyweight battle of the world, 1933, they do a press, about this much press right here. You guys are the press box. Raise your hand if you're the press box. Come on. So you guys are with me. I love this. And they're all excited. They're asking him questions before the fight. And then one guy in the second row, what's your name again right there at the goatee? Tony. Tony asks, he goes, I got a question. And he goes, so, Jimmy, what changed, man? What? You're just like a different guy. What changed? Is that a fair question? Yeah. What if I asked you what changed? Why'd you become so successful? What is it? What, like you were never like this. What changed? Like, what's the big deal? He looks at him and he just smiled and he goes, I know what I'm fighting for. I was just on stage with Jared Robbins. He talked about the power of clarity. Let me ask you a question. What are you fighting for? What are you fighting for? And they all looked at each other. You guys look at each other real quick, my press corps. Look at each other. Oh my gosh, Cinderella Man knows what he's fighting for because they nicknamed him Cinderella Man. He got a nickname. Do you have a nickname? Do you have a nickname? And so everyone put your heads down and pretend like you're writing. Everyone, he knows what everyone, heads down, be my actors. He knows what he's fighting for. Keep your heads down, everyone, heads down. Tony, head pop up. Everyone else down, heads down, you're my press corps. Heads down, come on, Tucker, help me out here. All right, Tony pops up in the movie, you'll see this, and he goes, oh yeah? What are you fighting for? So what are you fighting for? Do it, Tony.
I fight for everything new.
What? No. You say, I'm coaching you. I'm a terrible director, but we're trying. You say, what are you fighting for?
What are you fighting for?
And he smiles, and he said milk. I'll never forget it. Go watch the movie. Now it's personal. The reason you drive the car you drive, you live in the home you live in, your kids are in public schools, or maybe you'd like to have them in private. I propose this is you really haven't figured out what you're fighting for. It hasn't gotten personal. You're just trying to get 2 homes in escrow, trying to get 3 more listings. You're just going through the motions. But when things get personal at a deep level, we're not talking the fur coat, the house, the fancy car in the roaring 20s. What was his answer? Was it the car? Was it the rings? Was it the coat? What was it?
Milk.
It was milk. What are you fighting for, man? He went on to absolutely obliterate Max Baer and become the heavyweight champion of the world. He had a movie about his life. A guy who was a failure, a guy who was washed up and written off. I want to hear the movie about your life. I want to know how you move people, because you got in touch with something very personal and you overcame your situation. So there are 3 rules in life. Write this down, 3 rules. Number 1, life is not fair. Number 2, you're entitled to exactly nothing. You're not entitled to health care. You're not entitled to an education. Keep thinking you're entitled to stuff and see how your life turns out. Keep looking. Do we want the government to provide for us? No. We want a military and roads and all that. The old Kennedy quote, ask not what your country can do for you, but ask what you can do for your country. At EXP, we own this company. We. It's a French word. Everyone say we.
We.
We. I never said that at RE/MAX. At RE/MAX, we own this company. No, we don't. At Keller Williams, we own this company. No, we don't. I was there 13 years. I didn't think I owned it. I knew the OPs owned the franchise. Maybe you have a little piece of the franchise. But at EXP, man, this is the love boat. And I'm Captain Scoobing, baby. A rising tide rises all ships. Like if somebody does well in Portugal, it benefits EXP. And if you're a shareholder, which you are, you have stock, it benefits your family, your kids. Somebody's success in Hong Kong. Do you get this? I'd hear about Lance Logan or Craig Proctor from RE/MAX or Lance Logan from Kelly, and they'd be doing so good, Sir Lancelot or whatever his name is, Sir Ryan. And he's this company. But what did it mean to you? It was inspiring, but what did it mean to you if it didn't? There's this financial alignment. So number 1, life is not fair. Bad things happen to good people. I wish I could tell you. I realize some of you are going through some real struggles right now financially. Maybe with your teenage son or daughter who's into drugs. I don't know. I get it. You're struggling. Life is not fair. Number 2, you're entitled to nothing. And number 3, nobody, and I mean nobody, is coming to rescue you. It's time to bootstrap it. So I'm going to wrap up today with telling you the story of Juan. 2.5 weeks ago, I was in Elk Grove, California, south of Sacramento. I'm speaking to a group of people like this, maybe 80 people in the room. I finished doing what I do, and a guy come up to me, and he's like, I want to do this so bad, but I'm failing. I go, what do you mean? He goes, my mom came to me. This guy's 320 pounds, shoulders twice as wide as mine. He was a nose guard, Division IV college, incredible athlete, but he hadn't made a sale in 8 months. And you know what his mom said? You need to get a real job. You need to provide for your family. You need to man up. Does this sound weird now? Sounds weirder. Okay, I'll hold the mic. You need to man up. You need to provide for your family. You. Right? And he didn't like hearing that from his mom. I go, well, I can kind of see where your mom said that. I go, by the way, how are you guys surviving if you have an escrow in 8 months? Is my wife works as a part-time barista at Starbucks, and we survive off her part-time paycheck and tips. Is that good or bad?
Bad.
And he knew he was failing as a man. Maybe you're failing as a single mom or a single dad. As a human being, you're failing because it hasn't gotten personal and deep to you. And so guess what? He came to me in the parking lot. I didn't know him, tears going down his face. He goes, I want this to work. I just don't know how to make it work. And I said, how many people have you talked to in the past 8 months? He goes, man, I don't know, 60, 80, 100? I go, you got no escrows? He got no escrows. Okay, I'm going to help you. Here's the deal. It's called Tony Robbins, one of the premier guys in the world, says this. It's massive action creates results. That's what Tony says all the time. You're like, oh, I've heard that. So are you doing it? And I said, Juan, are you up for the task? Are you up for providing for your 2-year-old? Because how does it feel when you're thinking about what you're not doing? Isn't it great? No, it's called misery. If you're frustrated, It's a precursor to breakthrough. I hope you're frustrated. I hope you're angry here. If you're miserable, God save you. You'll wallow in it. Anybody spend Easter with relatives? You ever met any miserable people, some of our relatives, right? So here's the deal. I challenge Juan. Juan, you're not doing massive action. You're in your head. Here's what do you mean? I go, today, you're talking to 10 people. I don't care who, I don't care where. You call them, you text them, and you tell them you need to provide. Forget agent attraction. And this works with agent attraction. I go, you need to tell 10 people today, hey, I have a goal to sell 3 homes this month. Do you know anybody thinking about buying or selling real estate? Just start saying it every day. That's all you got to do. And then tell them if you do get someone who buys or sells, you give them a $400 gift card to their favorite restaurant. Say, by the way, Chris, you are from Austin. Where's your favorite restaurant? Austin, a steakhouse. What is it? Favorite restaurant? Jack Allen's. I've never heard of Jack Allen's. I like sushi, Macouni's, right? But I'm not from Texas. I'm from California, and they're weird out there. They eat raw fish. But anyway, so I go, I would give you a $400 gift card to Jack Allen's. If somebody, you with me? So it's called the greatest radio station in the world, WIFM. What's in it for me? And I do that 10 times a day. So Juan took the challenge. And I said, I'm gonna meet with you tonight, and you're gonna do 10 people a day for 10 days. You can do 100 people in 10 days, not 8 months. He did 100 people in 8 months. It's not doing enough. You're not creating momentum, right? You can do 100 people in the next 10 days. And I'm gonna meet with you at 10 o'clock tonight for 10 minutes. You can do 10 for 10 days. We're gonna meet at 10 for 10 minutes. Can you do this, Juan? He said, yes. Juan started talking to 10 people a day. Juan immediately put a home in escrow his first week. Juan got so busy showing property, he was never showing property. He could barely do the 10 a day. Juan started getting listing appointments. Juan started writing multiple offers. His first month, Juan will end up with 3 or 4 sales his first month. Let's give Juan a hand. Is that awesome? Now you think good for Juan. Yay for Juan. But what about me? Do you realize Juan today, here's the thing. It's not the 3 or 4 escrows. He's a different human being today. I'm telling you, he was tears. I don't know this man. I'm in a parking lot in Elk Grove, California. Tears down his cheeks to today, 10 days later, beating on his chest. Today he feels, and this could be you in 10 days. What I'm trying to tell you today is this is your Cinderella moment for you ladies, for you men. This is your moment. It better get real personal. And in 10 days, you could change your life. If you're willing to be like Juan, he's a hero of mine. And he kept it up. I go, just do 10 days. So I'm gonna ask you in the next 10 days, starting today, why wait? Start texting people and calling people. Do you know anything about yourself? It doesn't matter what they say. Get out of your head. If you're in your head, you're dead. The enemy's the enemy. The enemy's the enemy. Stop telling me why you can't. Don't argue for your limitations. I'm scared, I'm nervous, I'm broke. Because if you win that argument, you're scared, you're nervous, and you're broke. Are you with me? Yeah. Can you feel me? And so, tell me why you can. What do you fight for? You fight for milk? You better realize this. You're not fighting for escrows. You're not fighting for money. And if you are fighting for the boat in the house, you'll have a measure of success. But when you start coming from here, when you start getting authentic with your clients, I never lost buyers. I rarely lost sellers. Man, I suppose I did, but very little. And so you gotta come from here. Is that authenticity? So it's gonna get ugly, then it's gonna get pretty. Well, he started struggling through it, so this is your moment. You could do 10 a day for agent attraction. You could do 5 for agent attraction, 5 for, because you gotta make a living. Maybe, I have a commercial agent, Tucker, Paul Frank. He's doing 10 a day for commercial. He's like, oh my gosh, I'm getting $100 million this, $200 million this. He goes, I've never done this thing in commercial. We don't do that in commercial. So what he actually said to me, I'm like, all I've ever did was suffer and struggle and grind and scratch and crawl and fight. You know what my name means in Gallic? You know what Brent means? Look it up. It means uphill struggle. Thank you, Mom and Dad. Well, I'm Andrew, Prince of England. Good for you, Andrew. If your name's Andrew, I love you. But I'm like, God, why can't I have a cool name? No, uphill struggle. Let's name our son. But you know what? It's the struggle that gives you self-respect. Because you wipe the blood off your face and you lean into it and you go, it ain't that bad. It's not the force of the gale, it's the set of your sail that determines your direction in life. I get it, it's stormy, but in a sailboat, you harness the wind and you hold on and it propels the boat. What you are begging God to take from you is exactly what he's brought to you to develop character, integrity, that's it, strength, to someone that you have self-respect. So you have a decision to make. You can go, wow, that was a great talk, and leave and go hear more speakers today. I hope you felt that way. But you got to take action. Tony Robbins says, take immediate action. We just don't take action. Yeah, I'll get to it tomorrow. Manana never happens. So right now, I'm going to ask you to raise your hand. It's private. I'm going to ask you, everyone to bow their heads. We're not going to do a prayer. But it's private. This is your moment. I don't want any pressure. No one's going to see. But if you're willing to do 10 a day for the next 10 days, talk to 100 people about luxury real estate, about commercial real estate, about, this guy's like, I'm in, I don't need anyone to bow their dang heads. Okay, hold on. All the D's are like, hell yeah, I'm in, you know? All the amiables like, he said bow your head, we're gonna wait. Anyways, so here's the deal. This is your moment though. This is your freaking milk moment. It's time to break out. You could do 5 about real estate and 5 agent attractions. I don't care how you break it up, whatever you need done in your life. If you can't pay your bills, do 10 real estate a day, right? You'll be paying your bills in 10 days. This is your moment right now. Go ahead, bow your heads a little. And then I want to see some hands. If you're on for this 10 days, and you talk to 100 people, raise your hands. Raise your hand. Wow. Okay, everyone put your hands down. Everyone just rose your hands, stand up. So much for bowing your heads. It was a sucker punch. Okay, so hold on. There are many people, I'm not going to do it because it's short-term pain, long-term gain. I've already done it. I don't need to do it anymore. That's what you guys are saying about what we do. There's a beginning, a middle, and an end. I sponsored my 40-plus people. I retired in 17 months. I get to travel the world. It's awesome. What you're doing is short-term pain, long-term gain. It's called the long game, not the short game. You with me? The short games, I got 10 homes in escrow. What about next year? I'm going to have to do it again. So here's the deal. Go ahead and sit down. There's a lot of people. So here's what I'm going to do for you to support you. I'm going to do this. It's crazy. I am going to be on my Zoom channel tonight at 10 o'clock. It's called zoomwithbrent.live. No passcode, zoomwithbrent.live at 10 o'clock. And we're going to, if you talk to 10 people for 10 days, I'm going to meet with you at 10 o'clock at night for the next 10 nights. Me and you. Me and you. It's personal. It's real personal. For the next 10 nights. Straight through. I am going to, at 10 o'clock at night, I don't normally do anything at 10 o'clock at night. I'm going to be with you, and we're just going to hear what happened. See, write this down. It's really important you get this. This is the key to the whole thing. It isn't magic, it's motion. It's not hocus pocus, it is motion. Seneca saw it thousands of years ago. He said this, he said, it is not because things are difficult that you do not try. It is because you do not try that things are difficult. Man, I'm just telling you, you're 10 days away from a whole different life, a whole different new level of self-respect. Not some narcissism, I'm great, I'm amazing, but some doggone self-respect. Because you manned up, you womaned up, you went cave woman. You guys, do I have any cave women here? You gonna go kill something, drag it home, and feed it to the family? Any cavemen in here? Let me hear you. Come on. Any cavemen? You gonna go kill something? Then we're gonna kill our clients. You know what I mean? You're gonna go make it happen. You're gonna put in massive action. You're gonna put yourself on the path of progress. It's gonna be ugly, but you're gonna get pretty. It's progress before perfection. Well, I don't know my listing presentation. It doesn't matter how hungry. Write down this word. It's the key. Hunger. I can't teach it. You gotta be hungry. You gotta want it. And I love the fact that being scrappy, fighting, bootstrapping, struggling, crawling, kicking, screaming, none of that requires a college degree or a master's or a PhD. It's something all of you can do if you have some huevos. If you put that shit on the line, you may not be willing to. I got huevos. I was willing to fail. That's why I came to EXP 5 years ago. I was so willing to fail. I didn't want to fail. I'd do everything to succeed. But if I fail, I'll just go back to Remax or Keller or do whatever. If you're visiting us from another company, get in the water.
Yeah.
Do the Acapulco high dive. I will fight for you. So, and you can talk to 10 people at Coldwell Banker Sunday, 6, 10 days. Get on my Zoom channel, zoomwithbrent.live, 10 o'clock at night Eastern. for 10 nights, 10 at 10, talk to 10 people for 10 days. Can you remember that? 10, 10, 10, 10. My Zoom channel holds 1,000 people. I can handle all of you, no problem. Right, Rob? You guys up for this?
Yes.
I love you all. Have a great rest of the day. Thank you.
Thank you.